Hi, I'm Max Keller with Save Your Home Buyers. You might have seen some of my other videos online where I'm helping senior homeowners, or you might have gotten a copy of my newest book, Home to Home, the step-by-step senior housing guide. It walks families through exactly what to do with their parents' house, how to find senior housing. It's a reference guide basically. And recently, a homeowner in Haltom City reached out to me. And they were really confused on what to do with their parents' house, and because the parent couldn't live there anymore. It was actually the son's mom, and she was having mobility problems, falling down, and it just wasn't a safe place. But he didn't know what to do with his mom's house, and so what I did was just showed him what the options are, and he was really nervous because if you get this wrong and you've got, a parent's house that you're trying to figure out what to do with, and you get it wrong, it could be a big problem because there's so many different ways that you can sell the house, and they all have pros and cons, and a lot of times to get, information from anybody, you have to get it from somebody who's just trying to sell you like their option only. That's why we created this book and we created this education. I was a math teacher in HEB ISD for 7 years before I got involved in real estate, and so that's just my background is teaching. I actually coached a basketball game right there. We got second place in the tournament, but that's okay. It was a great time. But education's huge, and so if you're not getting the education, well, what can happen? Well, you can make unnecessary repairs to a house and not really get your money back from them, which can wipe out your savings. Obviously, if you're working with your parent and there's, some sort of health situation going on, a housing situation kind of compounds it, and you're probably working and you may have kids that you're taking care of. So there's just I noticed with the families I was working with, there was just so many things going on, and they needed somebody to just kind of guide them and help them. And so on this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 main ways that you can sell your house. Or your parents' house, and pros and cons of each one. And then on future videos, I'll go into each one in a little bit more detail, but I only got so much time. So, all right, and it's right here in my workbook. So, I'd love to get you a copy of this. So 3 ways to sell your home comparison. So number 1 is with a real estate agent. Now, this is mainly for people who, they want a traditional sale. They're okay. They've got time. So if you got some time to invest in the closing process, that totally makes sense. And if the home's in pretty good shape, that's usually a good candidate. The pros of selling with an agent is usually you can get the highest price for the house. Not always, but usually. And if you've got a really, really good agent, then they can help you out tremendously. Now, some of the cons of selling your house with an agent is that you got to get the house ready to sell. A lot of people right now with the virus, they don't want a bunch of people coming through their house, especially their parents' house, because it's high risk. So they're a little bit nervous about, doing a lot of showings and having, 30 people come through. I'm going to walk up the hill. I'm getting a little exercise. I'm about to go meet with a seller. Showing the home while you live there, making repairs and upgrades. Sometimes people will take the house as is, but most of the time, they want it in pretty good shape. And so, you got to pass a home inspection, and that can get a little picky. And then there's a longer closing time usually than some of the other options. So that's the main ones I can think of. If you find a real estate agent that's really inexperienced, it takes there's some great real estate agents out there. I'm a real estate agent, but the bottom line is that it takes about 4 times as long to get a cosmetology degree as a real estate license. So you've got to just make sure that you find the right person. And you can check, I need to get more exercise. And you can check out some of my other videos where I'm going to break down the exact scripts that you need to ask and interview a real estate agent, because it's super important. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is you can update the house before you sell it with an agent. And that's for somebody who has, money to invest in their home. You're not, in this case, you're not in a hurry to sell it. And maybe you have a background as a contractor. And the pros is that you have the potential to make more than the other 2 options. One I've already gone over, one I haven't yet. But the cons, I would say, is that it's not recommended for most people because a couple things. Number 1, usually it's most homeowners don't have access to really, really affordable repairs. And so they end up really paying a lot more than somebody else would. The biggest thing I see as far as mistakes to avoid is homeowners making repairs that don't really, and upgrades that really don't match the neighborhood, because, it's hard. I mean, you're not doing this full time, who would know? And so that can cause a lot of drama, because you go through all this effort to update the house and then it doesn't even really match the neighborhood. So getting good advice on that is huge. I mean, professional investors, make that mistake. I've helped hundreds of homeowners here in Northeast Tarrant County. So I know, it varies neighborhood by neighborhood, but I'm doing it full time. But a lot of people aren't, and so that can cause a lot of problems. Hey, school bus, good. School's back on, kids. The last one is sell to an investor, and the ideal customer for this would be, a homeowner who doesn't have a lot of money to put in the house for repairs or updates. Maybe the house is in average or poor condition, and somebody wants a very quick closing. So there are some pros. One of them is a quick closing. So if that's a pro for you, awesome. No repairs are needed, and it's a lot less headaches. And another one that really hasn't been added even to this book is that not as many people have to go through your house, which is a big deal right now, right? But the cons is that you get a lower price, depending on the condition of the home. Sometimes it's similar, but most of the time it's not. That person who's buying your home, they are going to fix it up and make a profit for their work. And you just have to decide how much your time is worth and how much you really want to fix up, your parents' house. And then a big thing that I want y'all to watch out for, these videos are all about empowering you so that you can make the best decision. And, it's all about education. That's why we're here at the school building, right? To just make the point, it's about education. Inexperienced investors. That's a big one. There's people who go to these 3-day seminars and they think they're real estate investors, and they'll get your house under contract, and you'll think that the house is sold, because in your mind it's like, well, I have a contract, but there's all these little escape clauses in there. And then what they do is they try to take your contract and sell it to somebody else for more. And that's called wholesaling. And I mean, that's not against the law. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a lot of times they don't tell you. They come over to your house thinking like they're going to buy, your house. Like when we go over to people's houses, like we're using our cash. But when a lot of folks go over there, they're really not. They just print out some business cards. And so what happens is that the contract eventually, they can't sell it for more than they have it for, and they have to just cancel the contract. So you thought that, your parents' house was basically good as sold, and now you got to start the process all over again. So that's something definitely to keep out. Check out some of our other videos where I have a script that I'm going to put in your hands in this book to empower you, so that if you are interviewing any of these people, agents or investors or contractors, I've given you all the scripts in here so you know exactly what insider questions to ask. I've been doing this full time for 5 years, and I've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad, the good, bad, and the ugly. And so if you like this video and it was helpful, check out some of our other videos, and have a great day. Bye.